All right, welcome back and greetings to everyone coming on in to watch some more Hambbage Minecraft Hardcore. I hope to have a little more success in this round. Again, relatively new to this stuff, and just quickly as we get going here, wanted to thank everyone for their patience who watched the first video. Obviously, couple of glitches. One I caught right in the midst of it, thankfully. The failure to clear off the Word document that was blocking the view was certainly annoying, and sorry about that. I also have attempted to resize the windows. I saw on watching some of the playback that the bottom of the screen was clipped off, and it looked like even a little bit of the centering. Again, just get used to the tools. Please bear with me. Hopefully the content won't suffer too much for it, but I hope that we've got that one squared away so that the actual game visibility will be there. A little bit of the audio stuff that I've noted and I haven't immediately solved yet. I know currently I'm streaming with a headset, probably will be for a little while. And I know that was picking up a bit more of the mouse click than I would have really liked. Not exactly sure how to deal with that one just yet. I don't know if I can adjust the mic. It does sit from this headset on the mouse side, and certainly that may play a bit of a role. I'll work on it a little bit. If anybody has recommendations on the the kind of duct tape and baling wire variety, as opposed to yeah, it would be great to have a boom mic, and it would be certainly nice to have an elite level mouse or something like that. Not gonna immediately jump out to get that kind of stuff. The stuff has worked for me for forever, so I hope to be able to mitigate that a little bit as I go forward. But for now, we're gonna fix what ones we've identified and have been able to rectify. Hopefully, this one will go better. Again, please use those comments. Let me know when you run into stuff. I hope it will not become too painful for you guys. So if there's anything that you think you catch an indication I can do better, would love to get that feedback. So thank you. But again, I hope you find some more hardcore Minecraft a little bit entertaining. So we'll get these uh, very amateur slides that I've made out of your screen here. Get that beautiful Minecraft colormatic screen in front. And without further ado, let's get back to business. So, as you guys last seen, we had just revisited the village that we passed in our Susanna Dean world, and are now going to go in quest of a home. I think we got everything good to be had out of that particular venue, although I now see some more wheat, which sometimes those are the ways, you'll want to get onto something else, and the game will just keep popping up more potential distractions. I think the other thing that we last realized was that probably, well, obviously, somewhere along the way I neglected my boat. I don't know where, if I put that anywhere that's immediately accessible or not, but probably quicker just to use some of the stockpile of wood we got to get a new one going. And again, we'll remember these guys. They treated us well as we got started here. Hopefully, we'll live long enough to come back for a visit someday. But right for now, we want a fresh boat. And we're going to get out there and see if we can't take this world by storm. Let's do that. I think we're very well equipped now. We got, again, just as a reminder for folks that may not have seen the first episode, we've got our full iron armor, a shield, which we won't use forever, but until we get some better equipment, it's not a bad thing to have. Heavy on wood. We'd started off in an oak forest and pulled a lot of that, and also good fortunate to get a little bit of watermelon. That'll get us seeds when we are ready for them for planting. We've got some potatoes that can go in the ground, and we've got wheat. So we're more or less ready to get a good food supply cooking. We also are cooking, growing, I guess, once we get started. Um, to do that, we need to find a home. So we'll want to take some time to do that today. And in addition, we've got already a little bit of fish and mutton cooked up and a big supply of bread in between. So, got a little bit of hunger now. Let's just top off that belly. And honestly, I think mutton is just marginally better than cod. So, we'll snack on bread for now. Um, have our cod kind of as our ready food. And go on from there. So, I believe the cave that we just went into was over there. We're going to swing out around this peninsula, maybe. I guess we ran across it. Our world that we, or spawn, I think we kind of crossed across that ocean and are now just generally moving away. And as I've talked about throughout the last video and these two worlds now, is I think finding a home that, or a place for a home that can kind of grow with you is important. It's going to make you continue to enjoy um, the playthrough longer and be less rushed to just get to the later game content. And it also is important for some of the functionality that I find really helps to get me to that and get me those ease of life utilities, if that's fair, quicker. Or not quicker necessarily, is just reliably, without some of the headaches and endless endless challenge that's out there. So we got more town. Um, I think we'll want to cycle back and visit these again, but we've gotten some good stuff already, and I think that's just a random underwater island. I don't think that's actually a temple, or I think it was very uniform in its structure. It looked pyramidal, but there's only so many potatoes you can get, and yeah, we could get a beet or carrot maybe, but for the moment, man, I want to find a place to call my own, if you know what I mean. That special spot that is full of potential. Looks nice. Some good. It's kind of seeming like a bay though. We got some those sunflowers going up. Man, again, just like last world, we got more deserty villages around us than shake a stick at. We kind of just go world to world, but again, we started out right on top of those last time, and I don't think we were necessarily the better for it. Do you? But let's see what there is to see. I don't want to run too far away from the obvious water. As I've mentioned, you can find yourself in places where there's no open water for 10,000 blocks, or maybe not quite that, but certainly thousands. And for so many of the game mechanics and just the ease of life until you're really tooling around in the airwaves, it's nice to have water, and I think we want to keep that going. Beyond that, there's one very specific structure that I always prefer to build over water, and others that really do well just having a little sea access around them. Well, now, okay, the sense of direction has completely failed, and again, I'm not gonna throw the info screen up in front of you guys all the time. That's a bit silly, but we're going to try to learn from what we failed to do last time. Get some light on the subject. Now, we went down, we already know we've, basically looted this place. And it's good, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't kill us like the last one did. Now more than ever, I think we're all too aware that that's a possibility. So we'll take the opportunity to call it a quick night here. Then I want to go downstairs. I want to check out that cave. We had seen it, but we didn't have any torches in the last episode. Hey, there's my boat. We found that. And grabbed a bit of iron. But again, I was glancing at these boxes and knew that this opened up and there was no light around it. And not knowing how far back this guy went, man, that could have been disaster written all over it. So we'll grab this iron that we knew about and not delay over long. And I guess we'll try to do a little better about heading in a new direction. So here we are, no harm, no foul. We're back in our original boat. And yeah. Say hi to the salmon. He's swimming hard, it looked like, but going nowhere. Now I'm really a bit concerned that we're just retracing our old steps. And until I see or don't see anything that stands out, I honestly am not certain if we'd come along in this direction from spawn. There were some icebergs. We left our little nice forest that was surrounded by an outpost and a village, and we're out searching. But to that point of finding that temple, hadn't seen anything that really caught our eye. Now, this seems a bit like a bay we might have gone in. You people are all probably going video to video and laughing. Like, oh, we were just here. But it's been a couple hours, so I think that looked familiar, though. I think we've put good money after bad, and it's time to cut our losses. So we're gonna keep shooting out this way. We're gonna stick to deep water, though. No need to hug the coast since we know what's gonna come back at us. Kind of keep our eye out on the water, see if there's any ships. They may be, frankly, too deep for us to really do anything with at this point, but doesn't hurt to get a feel that they're out there. If we do end up settling in the immediate vicinity anywhere, you just end up coming back by and going, oh yeah, hey, look at that, I missed it. And, the later you get in the game, the less likely any of those things are to make or break you. Just caught something out of the corner of my eye here, and want to make sure you guys get a chance to see it here. Just out beyond that island, that's the top of an underwater temple. And earlier we were seeing the entry, a few little arches in a row underwater. Sometimes you can see them now below and out in the distance beyond it. So we won't go too close. The Guardians will hit us with their attack, and you can see them kind of popping up in the water out there. Those guys are Guardians. It's Guardian Temple, and there's 3 Elder Guardians down underneath, which are technically Minecraft bosses. Cool little scenario to go down and work your way through an underwater flooded temple. They are the home of sponges, which are a resource that can absorb a bunch of water in an area and then be dried out either in a furnace or a fire or taken to the nether where they will dry nicely. And yeah, pretty cool. I believe there's coal underneath, but there's also lots of prismarine type materials, which is what the temples are made of. And those all come into play for conduits. And not to mention, they are really nice building materials, I think. So you can get your sea lanterns going from there and give some nice lighting to later construction projects. So lots of good out of underwater temples. Not to mention, and I apologize for backtracking, but what we didn't do was to note the coordinates of that. And I want to keep a ballpark. We know that we had spawned and come from our spawn point, which was smack dab between a village and a pillager outpost. And to have a temple, which, unless I'm completely lost, is still only a few 100 to 1,000 blocks away from it. I gotta find it again. There it is. Man, this could not to, which I'm sure I just have, but without completely jinxing our run here, these are ingredients that, when in reasonably close proximity, can really help you out in terms of being spaced nicely for a how did we get here attempt. So yeah, our initial spawn was at negative 250, 138. So we're a ways off, and if we were to go this far on the opposite side, we'd be even closer. So we'll just kind of make note of that. I'm going to jot down where they are. I will add that to my little notepad. And fun fact on our death scores list in watching the video. Another advantage: always record your Minecraft plays. I did go back and note the score. It was 238. Pretty low score for that World 1. But yeah, bear with me here just a second as I note those chords. And again, none of those have to be right on top of each other. By the time you're really even looking or thinking about how do we get here run, you've already got the means to speed up navigation a little bit. But a part of that, and I guess I've talked about it enough, the folks that know certainly know and are kind of all like, oh yeah, you could certainly do it there. Others who may not, there's a hidden advancement in Minecraft called How Did We Get Here? And what it requires is that you have every single effect in the game active on you at the same time. So positive and negative, potions, foods, no matter what their source may be, you have to get to a position where they are all in effect at the exact same time. And, on the surface, yeah, all right, you get to a point where you got all the potions and all that. It's pretty cool. You can do that. Well, there's some things in the world of Minecraft that don't you can't just put a stopper in death or bottle luck. Some of the things you really have to be in a situation to experience. One is Dolphins Grace. We caught that when we were checking out that ship earlier. That when you're swimming, if you are in proximity to a dolphin, they'll give you Dolphins Grace, and you swim a little faster. And that's awesome for what it is, but the only way that you can get that is by being in proximity to a dolphin. So you got to deal with that. There's another effect called levitation. You float up in the air like a helium balloon. To get that, you have to have a shulker hit you with its effect, and shulkers only exist in the end. So how are you going to manage that? Well, those are all parts of getting to this one moment in your Minecraft life where you have all those things in a position to impact you at, as we said, the exact same time. And I mean, I'm really wondering, did I just end up back at the same spot that had been at? Did I just pass an outpost? I mean, this was like our spawn, right? What's our chords? No, we're negative a lot more on our Z, but we did get closer on the X. But again, these are the kind of things, and this is usually how when you see a forest with a lot of what generally looks like flat terrain, most of the time it's because they're rivers, and you can't necessarily see them all, but they level everything out, and that's good. That's nice terrain. But if you really want to make a home with let's say a nice yard, then you're going to commit to filling in a lot of those to get them up to ground level. And that spawn was pretty unique in the sense that you don't often find that it's just level ground with plenty of trees around and access to the ocean and um, all those other elements that it had, with the exception that, to live there, you're going to be dealing with constantly spawned raiders and pillagers. So we'll find something. There's always something good that we can work with. And, just flat trees with a hill or something around them doesn't always appeal. Sometimes you just find an awesome mountain edge that nestles into a nice valley and opens up on a high bluff or something. Again, beauty of Minecraft. It's something around every corner that you may go, wow, I've never seen it come together just like that before. That's awesome. I want to live there. So that's kind of what we're cruising around and looking for here now. I would love to get something that, yeah, that could work. No, oh yeah, I think that's it. That's the one. You know how it feels. It's a good sense to find that little click. All right, so that was just a river valley through. This is pretty high, but has some potential to level out. It's got those mountains. Um, no, I don't know. I'm assuming that these rivers kind of effectively link back out to that same ocean that we were in, but I've been obviously wrong before, so let's go take a wander, see where this goes. I'm just guessing that out by the end of that mountain we've got some more ocean, but yeah, if we do, we do. If we don't, we'll keep exploring. Exploring is the name of the game. Now, I don't see any of the giant taiga trees. That could be a factor for what may otherwise be all right, we can make this work. All of a sudden you see that you got an area with stacks of podzol and mossy cobblestone just growing right there for the taking. That's it's got an appeal. Well, look, we got a whole lot more taiga on this side. And I gotta say, I love the spruce wood coloring for building. It's right up there. Regular oak, of course, is the classic. If you played Minecraft for a while, those were trees back in the day. Very quickly joined by oaks, but for a long time, you want to build something out of wood. Guess what it was going to look like? It was going to look like a oak tree plank. So nice to have the variety, and I do like when I use wood in my buildings. I definitely like to mix and match a little bit, get some accents and some color. You kind of think, oh, maybe that's an inlay in something that you built, or just some extra work. It's that little bit that kind of transforms what could otherwise be a box with some windows and a door, and if you're really lucky, a balcony up above. To hey, this is this reminds me of what real people might make for their own home. And, I want to keep exploring and looking, but look at this is way high. We're at level 70, the lake level 69. Everybody likes that. It's big, and yeah, there's going to be caves. There's going to be a lot of terraforming. There's a stupid bay we're going to have to deal with to really get more growing stuff. But that's got sand for us. We've got two directions that we could then build out into. And being up high, I mean, it's just like a castle or a fort back in the days of expansion and pre-flight. Those were what kind of bombing from the air is kind of what ended a lot of that style of building. But until that point, being on the high ground, definitely. What did we talk about last episode? We talked about donkeys for a while and how great they are, and this is Donkey Hill. So we got loads of pumpkins and donkeys and some dirt to move, but I think we can make a go of this. What do you guys think? I think this is a good spot. Of course, being a recorded video, we don't have instant feedback, and I don't know that having just restarted this video, that we're gonna wait for comment feedback. So yeah, I think this is our starting point. So let me know in the comments what you think. Did I rush it? Did I not take my own advice and just make a rash decision to settle? Maybe we'll see. But again, we're even up higher than we were before. But I think that's good for building. Um, we'll need to shave down some of the high points, but we'll need that dirt to then flip back around and level out and make some fields and that kind of stuff for our animals and our eventual crops. So yeah, I think we're the ones that are gonna go, or we're in the spot it's gonna work for us, or we're gonna die trying to make it. So now we've got a little bit of starting to do, and just a bit of thought. The first couple things are no brainers. We seeds won't be a factor even if they despawn. We're gonna have plenty, but we're gonna just make a double chest for now. I think that up here in the world, we have the ability to kind of start, open air camp type thing. Think as builders work on a project. They don't build a room of the house, move all their stuff into it, and then build more of the house. What they do is, clear the ground, get everything set up, and they may have a trailer for their office, but most of their tools and stuff are piled outside securely, usually in bins or something. But they're not wasting a whole lot of time. They just want to get going. So I think what we're going to do is get a secure location where we can sleep at night, store our supplies and our tools, keep things moving, and then build from there to get a start. So that's kind of my initial idea. So we'll start by unceremoniously dumping a bunch of this junk. I want to keep some coal because torches are going to be in high demand, but I also want to get a new cooker going. We'll keep the smaller stack of the food can all go. Saddle, don't need gems or 2 boats. We're going to cook that. We'll want our bed. We don't need trees yet. We don't need a fishing pole. All right, we don't need the wheat. So that gets us a little more breathing room. Now, next up, while we work, we want to be efficient. So we're going to be cooking while we go. Not that we have that much to cook at the moment, but hopefully that will change soon. So cook what more of the iron we have. I have a feeling that shovels are going to go quickly here for a bit, but the good thing about shovels is they definitely are light on the iron requirement, being only 1. And we can certainly make sticks for a while, so we're going to do that. At some point we will, as you saw, we grabbed a ton of oak saplings when we were back at our spawn forest, and we want to make sure that we use those to keep our wood coming, but we're going to be a little more planned than we were when we were just desperate with 3 saplings in the last game. We want to create a longer term orchard, if you will. And when we do that, these little blue cornflowers are going to be awesome for that, as long as any others we come across in our clearing efforts. They're going to hopefully attract some new friends to our little home. And that's why we're going to make for the time, kind of an oversized orchard, spread it out nicely so that as we potentially get some friends along the way, they'll have a little bit of room. And until we really get to a point where we can relocate them, we're going to just let them thrive and harvest the trees around that aren't in their immediate vicinity. So all to come, hopefully, with just a little bit of luck, but we should be in the right kind of environment to make that happen. And again, all of that, it's a coin toss now as to what we prioritize kind of in these first setup modes. I like to not work backwards. I don't want to waste too much time getting temporary stuff set up when it's going to pull back from our main goal of getting a structure set up from which we can really start to push down into the mines. And those mines don't exist on their own. We gotta, as many a miner will tell you, you gotta put in the effort to get those to come and get the produce of the earth, so to speak. So again, more flowers, poppies in this case. And I'm sorry, we don't need directions or coordinates at the moment. We're going to be just fine in the area here. So doing a bit of lawn mowing. I absolutely overzealously take out these tall grass clumps, the 2 tall ones. I kind of alluded to it the other stream. There's ways that I think that that Minecraft kind of trolls the player, and that's awesome. I love it. But one of them is certainly when you're in the plains. Man, those creepers, I don't know if it's designed into them, but they seem to just stick themselves deep in any tall grass like this. And with their green color and the green grass kind of textured like that, it interesting. That's definitely going to be worthy of a little further review. I think that noise. I'll kind of go back here. I just walk away because I am familiar with it. But let's see if we can get closer to a source. Nope. All gone. I don't know. Well, that may bode well for adventures underground or in the vicinity. Um, cool. There we go. So you're talking about all these pieces are kind of great, even at this early point. The seeds. Now, as I say that, there's a chicken. Where's your buddies? Usually there's multiples. As you notice, the donkeys, there were a couple of them together. Game kind of throws you a bone like that, and with a lot of animals, it'll give you the opportunity. You find pigs or cows or something like that, you can go ahead and you know harvest a couple of them and enjoy their produce, and you should still have a couple left to breed with. But it's pretty rare, even with the donkeys or any of those, that you'll truly just get a single example. The game lets you develop more opportunities out of those when it can, and that's pretty helpful. Not something to just be sneezed at, so to speak. But again, a little ahead of ourselves. I'm just hoping we get some more chickens together um, that we can then start free range breeding chickens before we do anything really focused or intentional. It only helps. It'll give us a little bit of experience along the way. And when the time comes that we want to make a little chicken pen, it will give us lots of chickens in the area, and they'll spread out. You breed them, they don't just all stay in a tight little family. They're going to spread out a little bit and occupy this terrain. But it's another good reason for the leads. I'll have to check. I can't recall if we grabbed any in this game. We had gotten some in the other before our untimely friendly creeper came to visit. But oh well, there will be other wandering traders. We'll get more leads. And leads, unlike saddles and some of those things, you actually can craft leads, so you can, you know, get out there and lead a whole flock of ducks or pigs or cows or I know those aren't all flocking animals, but as the opportunities present themselves, you can kind of jump on them when you have leads and not just have to worry about their interest in the food supply. They will follow you. If I hold up some grain or seeds, these chicken ducks will happily scurry along after and will kind of get pulled towards one another. However, they'd also lose interest over time and intermittently. And when you're, trying to get them back to your home from a longer distance, won't be a problem in this one, but maybe for some other animals, we'll like to get a nice variety of critters to help us out and provide their entertainment. But it it does become a bit more. Oh, I'm sorry, donkey. I'm sorry. Hit you with a shovel. You all right? I don't have any apples on me yet, but oh, poor little donkey. Hopefully, he'll forgive me well before the time that we're trying to get him tame. So, as I was saying, we're trying to prioritize, and again, I would like to sort of be breeding in the midst. You just kind of get sucked into this dirt erasing, and it fills you in. Now, if we knew more or had a chance to think about it, I would be inclined to just start using this dirt instead of storing it, but that's a bit beyond. I have a vague impression. I would love to, as I've alluded to, house slash castle on the hill, maybe a little complex type deal. Um, get that going and kind of make my residence and some of that kind of stuff up here on the corner. Then in the land as it extends away from it, we'll do a lot more of that farming stuff and move these guys out. I have a fairly standard farm build, and plan to do that. This is more than enough space to do that. We want to have our orchard, but pens work well for I think most animals, particularly cows and chickens. They're gonna be my two primary concern animals. We'll get the others. I just like, I think it's kind of fitting in the spirit of creating a home and living in this world that is Minecraft to you know have some pigs and some sheep and have that wool available. It's great when you get to more designed building. Um, Wool is a very flexible material, and until the introduction of concrete, it was pretty essential. If you wanted to add color into your builds, you really had to use dyed wool. There's only so much you can do with stone and wood. Um, kind of limited palette that you have to work with. So back in the day, you'd need to have, and I'm sure many folks have seen the dyed sheep on a conveyor, automated shear type stuff. A little beyond what I tend to do in my play style, but the idea of having a number of sheep in colors of wool that you're going to need used to be of paramount importance. You had to keep that if you didn't want your buildings to be gray or brown. That was that was kind of the way you got it done. So we want to get that for carpets and things like that, but with concrete, with terracotta, with clay and red sandstone and tan sandstone, there's just endless potential. Now you have the black stone and the gildings of some of those kind of things. You can make nether bricks and have that nicer maroon color. You got a lot to work with, and not a lot of reason to specifically use wool. Which, oh, by the way, wool's not a great building material in the real world or in Minecraft. It's very prone to, say, explosion damage if a creeper should get around. Fire, it burns. It's not ideal, and somewhat in whether by design or it's specifically for that, or just because it was kind of a need in the platform. Mojang has been great about introducing concrete that can be dyed. The glass, the change to being able to stain and dye glass to make stained glass, those really, from someone who has never been a huge builder, but who's enjoyed decorating the things that he's needed to get by in the game, it's really opened up a lot of possibilities over the years. So we'll get some sheep, but we're not gonna have a great cheap ranch by any means. Maybe, at the height, we may make it small pens for a handful of sheep of multiple colors. And mainly, as I said, they come in handy for if you're carpeting large builds, using uh, those carpet tiles either to mitigate mob spawning by changing the heights of the rooms or covering lights, just adding color. Bringing some of these structures to life is so much fun. It really adds a depth that you can quickly get past, or go decide you don't even need. And you're right, you don't need to have a multicolored carpet in your storage room or anything like that, but it makes those necessary and by nature kind of, everybody's going to have a mind. Everybody's going to have a storage room. Everybody's going to have a room where they're cooking some more, those kind of things. When you can start bringing color and patterns and designs and those things to them, and really playing around with that stuff, it just makes your world your own. And I know, we all, it's a community. Whether you're directly involved in other chats or not, or you just watch occasional videos, the ideas spread and do so almost by design. I want to say they will always fill needs. You've got to have a home that you can sleep in early game that isn't going to let mobs come into you if you stay up later than sundown. So that's what we're working on right at the moment, and I think this kind of my thinking here is, if you were to have an old time frontier walled encampment, and we're not talking Versailles. This isn't a palace. We're not living in luxury. Hey, we just woke up in a, call it you were shipwrecked and abandoned. However you personally call the story of finding yourself in this Minecraft world. We're definitely in the make sure we make it to tomorrow mode, not how do we get those simple things that those greater perks of life that you can't put a price tag on. Well, what we want right now is a very, very simple room that ultimately is home for a staircase and some windows. That's what I want. I want to be able to start before anything else my mine. And I definitely, as I've kind of alluded to, I've gone through all the cycles that so many others have probably as well. The very first time I was ever introduced to Minecraft, this is before I'd ever found out about hardcore. I didn't even know what monsters were or how to how to get rid of excess. I know I was like, how do I got this inventory and it's all full of stuff now. I don't even know how to drop stuff. I didn't even know, Q. What's that? What am I doing here? And I've got my then very young nephew trying to laugh at me as I'm bumbling my way through. But you know, ultimately, I started what I understood was the way you mine. I just started digging a wide open hole, open to the sky. It's like a gravel pit, right? You just take off the top layer of dirt and start pulling out rocks. Well, that you quickly find in the world of Minecraft doesn't work so well. It's got some advantages. You very quickly get down and get a lot of resource material, but at the same time, it's very exposed, if you will, to the unfriendlier elements that can be out there. And those are the ones we don't want. So I think, for the sake of visualization, we're gonna get a little floor, and I'm rethinking just a tiny bit. Not this again isn't a long-term home, but if we go backwards. All right. I think 7 by 9 is 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now 4, 7. Cool. Now, this is going to be very unfinished until we get our orchard going. But this is what I'm seeing for my interior floor. I want to go like that and like that. Then this is perilous, but no, I think we're gonna go off in this direction. My initial depth into a mine, and these are subject to change. 20 blocks down, we may find a ravine, or that river is cut through and is more trouble than it's worth. I mean, heck, this may be a cave that we're going to deal with right out of the gate, but I think it'll be worth it to go in the direction of the continent. We even got some mountains that way. As you'll find with my style of mining, once we get deep, it's not gonna matter a whole lot one way or another. We'll put out exploratory tunnels like you wouldn't believe to see what's out there for ourselves. So we can get not even that they're gonna facilitate a lot, but those that don't know, mountains are the only biome that have emeralds in the ground. And while that I can get to a point where mining emeralds is laughable, it has an appeal. It's kind of fun. I like that biome to be able to explore. And ocean biomes, on the other hand, now certainly have the potential to be flooded out with undersea ravines and have water source blocks all the way down to the bottom. And again, challenging, definitely ways to lose hard coral worlds, but cool. They're fun to go diving into and exploring. But what they offer in terms of potential excitement, they just kind of get annoying in the sense that you've got to be building means to deal with all that water. It's like a real mine in real world Earth. A lot of times those fill with groundwater and you got to run pumps and things like that. Well, you don't have to do that in Minecraft, but you do have to go through and either drop sand or fill with dirt and clear it all out to get rid of the source block water. And it's time. So going that way to maybe get those mountains, or going straight out that way, that just tells me I know I'm eventually going to be dealing with ocean. Heading down that way, at least I have the chance of not. So that's the chance we're going to take, is not potentially ocean. Oh, what am I doing here? That, I think. So do that. All right. This is very quickly becoming the base of what many people will recognize as very standard Minecraft house home, cobblestone and wood. Two early plentiful building ingredients, and they exist for a reason. They're the first things you're going to run into. We're going to want to hit that spruce wood for a lot of our building. But I do want to make this, and as I said, a little building that's mainly a staircase. What I want to do is be able to come up out of the mine, not knowing whether it's night or day, and know that at least in that first pop up, I've got a chance to kind of be secure and clear of immediate hostility or danger. So that's kind of what we're planning on, and I'm just playing around. I'd love some more stripped tree trunks, but I just don't think I have the wood at time. We may change this out. As I said, my mentality is kind of going into this. This is one of those rudimentary construction type buildings. We weren't building this to be a long-term residence. This is where the foreman sits and it rains and everybody else just gets to store their tools. It's gonna be bricky a little bit, and bricks would be more appealing than pure cobblestone, I guess. But I think this will serve us a purpose. How about that? Now, a long way down the road, we'll have, if this survives, everybody's up and down into their minds regularly. We may do elevators, we may do that kind of stuff. The mine's going to be just straight cut dirt blocks for a while, but a lot of times I like a climbing roof line, with inverted stairs to soften, something that you're going to be all too familiar with the sight of by the time you're really to the point of, do I just put a gateway up and down, or do I use elevators, or what exactly do I want to use to really make that my own creation? But I think if we did something along those lines, I know I'm going to use up more wood than I had initially hoped, but it's alright. That's why we got trees and saplings. So if we did another one there, now that's going to have to maybe get changed. The real question is, why did that one curve so well and the next one didn't? That one did. Alright, now you're just... I got two. Let's see how this looks. Oh, we still had to fix this, didn't we? There's those pianos. So peaceful. Oh. Oh, he came out of that little cave, huh? Okay. And again, this is not nearly as quick and dirty as it could be, but we have the bed, and see, I'd mentioned earlier, zombies, you don't hear it, but they talk to each other. And oh, look at that. That's just one example of it. We're up on a hill outside in the fiery sun that zombies aren't big fans of. But he still came running when his buddy told him I was up here. So yeah, that's gonna happen. While I'm thinking about it, let's keep our now fled but growing herd of chickens. Let's get them going. There's one. You got buddies over here? Chicken? No? Well, maybe he'll follow me. Let's go find your friends. Come on. Come on. Alright. So this will probably be a great example of animals losing interest. Although we haven't let a lot of them, so he may just be in. As I said, they are prone to some scattering, but being confined as they are to this kind of area, got them. And just before, I guess, sometimes the lighting in Minecraft really throws me off. I could have sworn we were at dusk type time there because it was getting going. Just like last time, I just can't help it. We're gonna chew up a bunch of our wood, and I haven't really thought out where our tree farm will go, but it seems silly not to let some of these pop while we're doing our thing. Make this a bit more in the biome that we want it to be in. Then complain about what we got. So, man, a lot of these. All right, that's enough. Well, those will grow. We'll have at least one new chicken. Now the other thing I wanted, and it is midday, so we can go do it. I've still got some shovel. I had said that I wanted the ability to kind of look around and see what I was contending with when I came out of the depths. And to do that, we need glass. And to get glass, unlike in our desert home, we gotta go out a little bit. Obviously we've got a lot of bluffs there with sand. But other than some leveling, and you'd probably laugh, and I'll do my best to disprove this, but I like to, where possible, preserve the look of where I chose to live, and those big sandy bluffs, dunes on the edge of the ocean, that's pretty cool, man. I don't want to just make big dugout holes because I needed a few blocks of sand to make some windows. So we'll just come out here. This was a low-lying island, and maybe we can use that in the future for some project or another. But to the extent possible, unless we really get in a pinch, I'm going to try to save some of this sand as is. The heights will be leveled out and terraformed a little bit, but where we don't have to necessarily just cut across to fit our builds, we'll try to make it stay a little bit natural. Hey, cows. So, yeah, good stuff. We got at least a stack, and we've got lots of coal. So we're going to cook that up. That'll give us more than enough glass. We got extra sand and dirt. We still have room for a couple shovels, but I think while we're waiting on our glass, we want to do doors. And for that, I think we get some more wood here. So even with spruce around for highlights and what I would prefer to use for some of the building, I still like the oak for the doors. I think that open window at the top kind of can't be beat. And let's sleep. Because of course, while there isn't one, and we're not gonna, not that it's a huge waste with cobble, but we're not going out of our way. I want to finish out these foundations or foundation appearance where the door is going to open over the top of it. So there we go. You got more than enough doors. We'll put torches on either side of those. A double set on each side here. It's not necessary, but how much stuff is really truly necessary in most of our houses? We do them so we live in a place that looks nice. I'm thinking as I'm sitting here that this this level here may be where we go to some of that spruce. And to get that going, we'll want to make a little run there over to our neighboring trees, which is all good. That's going to give our trees here a chance to pop if they're going to. It's going to give our glass a chance to cook, and I want that extra level of, too high. Most mobs aren't going to be able to go over the top of it. And in case you don't know, glass is a barrier for mobs to see you through and take aggro. So when we set up windows around here, even if there's a creeper standing right here or right here, he's not going to see me. Now, zombies act a little bit differently. They love bashing on doors, and these doors are not foolproof. Zombies in hardcore will break them down, but not all that often. And I find being able to see through them. The oak doors, for instance, are beautiful, but they don't have any windows, and something can get on that other side and just wait for you there, and you forget about it. Boom, you're dead. So we'll go with oak there. I'm going to drop off some of these things just for the time being, so that we can go over and grab a load of wood. And let's just go ahead and take the bed. I don't like that, though. And in case you didn't notice me, as I kind of was coming in and out of the doors. It's kind of cool. I haven't gotten rid of this pond because it might be nice to, I don't know, like having a little pond. Maybe we build a deck out over here and, kind of sit in the evening and drop a fishing line maybe, or just enjoy reflecting on our day. But I also don't want to fall in it, and that's a risk when you just got a door opening up next to it. So, as I said, priority the tall weeds here. Oh, and here I go. The impulsiveness of Minecraft. We got this cave, and we've already had one zombie call his friend out of it. There's another one down there talking already. 2 caves. And this may well impact our mine shaft anyway, but it certainly is a source of trouble during our daytimes, and this is great. I mean, for the few bits of hassle, we're not going to take on a witch yet, the few bits of hassle that a cave will present in making our stairs go down nicely, it offers so much more. Man, he's coming. So much more in good, just by having options to man, you are persistent. Options to get coal, iron, go down and just have some fun, dig up some rocks, dude. I will give him determination points all day long. What is this guy on about? I didn't say anything about your mama, Mr. Witch. At some point, I would think he would lose aggro, but honestly, I don't know, man. I mean, unless you're at this point witches don't present a huge problem, but those AoE potion bottles that they like to throw, when you don't have any kind of ranged weapon yourself and are short on food, they throw a slow so they can keep you from getting away if they hit you first. They throw their own heals and they throw poison. So they can kind of make a bad day for you. And the good news is I haven't heard too many more of the crashes or his little laughs. But I'm a little afraid once I get up in a tree, he's going to appear and, oh, yeah, I was just, taking my time. But pathfinding, as it is for mobs, I knew where you were the whole time. Anyway, we'll hope not. I hope we lost him in the trees. And again, it's a tough justify. Spruce trees, as I think we're gonna maybe see here, they're tall, so they don't clear quick. Sometimes you got to build up from the wood and double cut it, and that's a little bit painful. And they also, all the trees in Minecraft, which helps create this environment that I and so many Minecraft players enjoy. They make big trees and little trees and all that. Well, one of the evergreen tree styles, like those, they're thick and bushy at the bottom, like a Christmas tree, and you gotta bash your way in to chop them down when there's only a few pieces of wood once you get in there. And if you ever leave one of them, then the tops of the trees don't degrade and everything looks terrible. So, not my favorite forest to work in, I guess is what's becoming clear. But I think the spruce wood, once you get it, it's just a nice, deep, rich kind of brown color. The dark oak is so dark it gets a little overwhelming. And if you use it inside your builds, you kind of, am I in a cave? What's going on in here? Um, and the rest of the woods are great. I love just having that variety, but I really, between spruce and a regular oak for kind of whatever you're working with, and then using like a nice jungle wood or something to highlight and put a little design in a floor that you're making out of it, or doing accents above doors and windows or things like that. Just cool stuff. And you know, back when Minecraft was first being created, I like to think, how far did he think it was going to end up? He was making something to kind of go out and explore and create this world. And back when he was first making Minecraft, did he think someday people are going to be out there going, oh, which kind of wood should I cut down to make my house out of? And how many biomes should I look at before I find something that works? That those videos where you can find them, the people that were lucky enough to be playing and recording back then and got to record their own worlds. Man, there wasn't a lot to speak of in terms of beauty and unique design. Although, man, it's amazing how far people took it and their creativity just carried them through. I mean, from the early days, Doc M was out there going, "Oh man, you can put this and this piece together, and all of a sudden you got a machine that does stuff for you." And I remember B00 was out there, and I found him. I don't know if I was first trying to breed horses, or if it was a matter of trying to make a barn to put my horses in. And a trick that I'm pretty sure I learned from him with the gates on the walls to make a stall within a barn that you and the horse could go through, but the horse didn't know it could go through itself. Totally awesome. But seeing his early stuff where he he needed storage or something, and builds a Home Depot, out in the middle of a desert. And this is early Minecraft stuff when I don't know how many people were out there making videos or being an audience. And it was probably a couple years into the release of the game and out there by that point. And certainly there were a few others, and I was watching it years after he'd actually made those videos. But man, oh man, you got a limited palette to work with, and you're already just running with ideas, and making automatic sliding doors from something that you'd seen. And being able to watch people that have seen somebody do something and know it's possible, or think it's possible and haven't seen anybody do it, but they're going to try, have a good idea for it, and make it their own application of something. Just so cool to watch. And yeah, I hope to. It's the parts of building that I guess I like. I'm not a good builder. Haven't finished things to the extent that I would like in a grand scale. I've had some tight, small little builds that I've really enjoyed, and have made me feel good that yeah, I can get done. I can do more than just a box. But playing hardcore, those have long since gone the way of oops and disaster, and it's part of what makes I think of it kind of a little bit like people that make ice sculptures, right? You see them at a wedding or something. Somebody has a fancy dinner and they got the ice sculpture on the table. And I honestly, I don't know. Those probably come out of a machine, right? It's like an ice cube tray that they just pour stuff into a form, and you get a swan that goes on a table, and nobody has to spend any time. But I know there's people out there that legitimately carve ice, up. In Breckenridge, Colorado, they have a big competition about that every year. People do massive ones, kind of like sandcastle building competitions for people that live closer to beaches. But anyway, that all of that type of art is temporary. You put in an inordinate amount of time, and granted, I think a lot of the people that really do that high end sandcastle building, for instance, do it indoors, right? Rather than just being on a beach, they do it in a mall, or somewhere like that where people can see them all, and they'll get a little more time out of it. But the idea that yeah, you're building something, and that it's not going to be there in a year. It may not be there in a week, but it doesn't take away from the idea of doing that building work while you got the opportunity. I think that's awesome, and it's something that encourages me. A lot of people get frustrated when they lose a hardcore world. Oh, how do you find the motivation to start again? You got to be so devastated. I don't know. As I was doing any build, I was thinking, oh well, is that the way I really want to do that, or is there's something different out there that I could be trying? Yeah, always looking and going, what's the next possibility here? So we got a lot of glass panes. Oh, and one other thing I want to do is to see how this works for my heading down to the actual mine. As you saw, and I haven't talked about this, some people may appreciate it, others are like, yeah, whatever, we all know it's glass, it's not that exciting. These are glass panes. They come from glass blocks, which I just created out of cooking sand. And the blocks of glass will fill the space completely. And while they don't do any different job of filtering or creating, are somewhat, a little bit easier to work with. You can stack them up, and build off of them. But as you can see, these go as well. Where they sometimes run into challenges, though, is in fitting things like this. And again, I could have kicked my stair pattern all the way out to the sides, but if I'd done so, there would be a gap. And these things don't, they don't know to line up perfectly every time. So we want to kind of watch out for that. But what I'm talking through and kind of wondering is I'd like to do a layer of spruce logs around the top, um, to the idea that you build a stone. You typically don't build roofs unless it's slate, which I guess is technically a stone, but typically, at least here in North America, your roofing or roofs, once you get them going, are going to be made out of a more manageable material than just a straight up chunk of rock, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And of course, the easiest roof in Minecraft is just to fill in um, around the area that you've built. And what I kind of vacillate on, I guess, from build to build, is when you're putting ridge poles, which effectively these are, over the top of things. Yeah, think Lincoln Logs and building a log cabin. They can come together and kind of crisscross back and forth, but they also could be extensions here up, sitting on the stone supports, and then have a footing, or a joint for the logs that lay in between them to kind of be inserted to. And in some places, you might have a fully long log all the way across. In other places, you wouldn't. You kind of extend up, and that's something I personally um, go back and forth on. In a lot of these very basic builds that you go through. It's what I want to do to make this look a little bit less like the box with with the most immediately available pieces of wood that I could find to go onto it. And I guess that was. I don't think I want this to go all the way. I think I want it to go there. Now, once you shave a piece of wood, just for anybody that doesn't know, it stays shaved. It doesn't just pop back. So, since I know I have one, I'm just gonna swap it. I just don't need to store the inventory of a whole bunch of extra pieces of wood. So, or types of wood. Pieces, we'll keep the pieces, but I think not having the full long width of this little cabin, that's a little bit much to believe. But yeah, I think that maybe we'll swap out that one too. Make both of those longer beams and call it good. Again, um, we're early on. We got a lot of priorities that we need to be working on rather than shaving logs to frame a little work cabin. But hey, odds are this is gonna be sort of home for a while, and let's make the most of it. Right? Let's enjoy it. So that's what I'm thinking. I think keep the bark on the uprights and let let the other pieces look like, beams that people have worked and gotten ready for fitting in here. Now, what I've done um, through building this is prevent the easy up and down access, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is, for the time being, just pop down a few torches, more than you would ever think would be enough, on the top. Uh, Keep things from spawning up and dropping down on us. Now, this is not spider proof by any means. Spiders can climb up. Some of these areas will actually be a deterrent to them. I think they struggle going up over glass. Um, so some of these little overhangs will actually do a pretty good job of keeping them in check. But um, let's not count on it, right? Let's just assume that they're going to have access to come in and visit. But again, not. Maybe it's better not to look. What we're gonna do before we check out of outdoor camp here, we got torches on the outside. Let's get a few more. Again, torches are cheap and they're designed to be that way. It's yeah, it's not heightened reality that you can light a torch on the side of a building and it can infinitely burn happily and give you light. Not the way torches work. It's not reality, but it definitely gives us that chance that we need, I guess, to make a game that could otherwise be incredibly difficult and grindy, um, more casual, more a game that has a massive fan base of, frankly, young children, that would be totally put off by a game that required that you either constantly be replenishing or replacing torches with some other light form, or that would go out in the middle of the night and suddenly what you thought was a safe space has become hostile. So it's a balance, and I've been placing light and torches for so long now that you rarely think about it. But yeah, it's something you can nitpick if you want to, but use them. That's the way the game was designed. So we're going to make sure our little home here is well lit. Now, next step, and this is again just to kind of keep us barely off the threshold of awful, is making this a multi-wood floor instead of just one or the other. So I'll get some of this. See, nice brown. I think that just doing that, what did that take us? 20 total minutes, and we got to get chased by a witch, which was a highlight. I got to talk about the shapes of trees. Always fun. Just doing that is going to go a long way towards making this more than just a room we have to endure. Now we've got more spruce at easy proximity, although our trees may have grown up a little bit, but we got more spruce at hand. And the next thing that we're going to do is get ourselves back to our base storage. And this is closer to what I kind of adopted as an early player and have morphed over the years in my own head. Smaller is a if you're carving out a room that's going to become a base in a side of a mountain, um, typically I go, or as a base footprint, I would go 7 by 7. And if you start here, and again, where is that chest? This could be disaster, but where is some wood? I gotta fill this hole in. Okay, so typically I would have a door. Say this is a side of a mountain. Door here, 1, 2, 3, and then curve around in a square. So you've got a door on each side with 3 blocks of space to work with. So this is the side of one. Was 7 anyway, right? And this is how my early bases would set up that still remain entirely functional today. You have a door, you have a chest, then in a 7 by 7, this is only 2, so a little bit different, but here you put your crafting table. You have that in the corner. Then you have another chest, and you got a nice little corner. Then you got a door. Then you repeat. So chest. And for the other 3, I do stoves or furnaces for multiple, cooking multiple items at the same time. And at first night, that's 1. It goes door in, carve 2 when you're making a base on the side of the mountain. Carve in 2, 3 to the side, 3 to the other side. Hope that you haven't hit a cave or something, because that all of a sudden gets bad. If you have torches at that point, light that little 2 by 7 space, and you've already got a crafting table, more than likely, throw that down. Make 1 chest because you're chock full of inventory and you're just trying to get by. Throw that down, and then get your oven. And that's how I kind of developed. This one is right next to the chest, and it's where all my tools are. Primarily the wood, the sticks, the coal, and the iron that I'm going to make replacement tools as I go. So I've got it right at hand. And again, off, but think the 7 by 7. Here we've replaced it a little bit. The dimensions are different, but my pattern will be the same. I'm close to my toolbox. I've got all the tools. The wood will go here. The dirt and sand will go here. Here we may put a couple more ovens. In fact, I think we'll just do 2 and 2, and then somewhere downstairs or in a different building we'll do a big furnace cook. But yeah, 2 furnace, 2 furnace. We'll do our dirt and gravel and our jewel box, treasure box, and then over here will be our andesite, diorite, and granite, and cobble, and cooking. So food and junk in the others. And that'll get us our kind of working living space safe. We will, before I just want to tear it all down, we'll get some kind of roof on here to make this less of just a rectangle, but we're safe for now. We can stand here and talk through the night. We got a bunch of guys out running around. We've got room in the middle here for our bed, and I don't know where it's going to be least in the way. I think, maybe it's a cabin, but maybe a second story would eventually serve. But I don't know, like that maybe. Beds move easy. It's not a problem. I really want to get the rest of my stuff and get moving, but as you can see, we've attracted a lot of attention. So let's kind of lay out our inventory with what we do have. Again, tools in this, and as I said just as I was about to die in the previous one, we also throw in what building supplies, doors, and stair pieces cut and all that we'll likely be using frequently. Throw those down in the other corner. It's going to be our lumber box, and again, we'll probably use all this stuff very quickly, but helps keep it straight. This will be our junk box, flowers, and sugar cane, that kind of stuff. This is our food box, and we've got carrying a little more than we'd like, but we really don't have better things to carry at the moment. And of course, we have a furnace that we can put down. And we decided we'd put those in the corners with room for chests on either side. So that's good. And we only have 4 cobble left. And I do think we had more in our chest. Let's... Oh, how is that witch back again? Persistent little witchy witch. We need to dees. Oh, moving parallel, but how did it come? This is the point when somebody comes up behind me, I know. Oh my goodness. Leave the door shut. Last thing we need is witches in the house. Okay, now. More logs. Got wood. Apologize for the quiet here. Let's put our boats away. Our fishing rod and our saddle. We've got one more here. Now, both of these are going to become chests. This will get us 8 more. Just what we need to finish out our room. Now, you can't combine wood types, which seems a little silly, but also makes sense. But the chests that come out of them are all the same, which is great. So that means that now we've got that same full base complement of chests that we had in the desert temple before tragedy struck. And this is going to be our food. So boom, 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 boom. And as we, no, I just missed an apple. This is our treasure. I hope what kind of comes through, again, this isn't anything fancy or super efficient or better than anybody else's or anything like that. But through my own use of it, I've gotten to where even if it changes a little bit, I don't have to wonder where something's going to go or where it's going to be. You know, in a small little one-room base that's basically just a box, I know this is where I go to get my next thing, or this is where I go to dump my gear. And I think it becomes easy to be intimidated by just the inventory stuff of Minecraft. If all you've done is watch streamers and they, right out of the gate, first it's junk box, right? They, oh, all I have time to do is make a dump chest and I'm going to put all my stuff into it. And so they get in the habit of that. And you learn, all right, it's time. I've been out, I've been running my video, and people don't want to see me throw my stuff in. So we're just gonna drop it all in a dump chest, and go on to the next thing. Cool, and that's great. It definitely got him on the run. It definitely helps. And I'll break my own rule. Eventually I'll be at that point where yes, I need to just get rid of stuff. So let's go dump, and we'll figure it all out later. Fair enough. That's very possible. But when you're playing and you're not looking for an audience, you're just finding that you spend more time trying to find that one thing that you put away, now don't know where it went, and wait till you get shulker boxes and they could be spread all over a bunch of different locations. It gets even worse. It doesn't get better as this game goes on. So finding a little system like that where you don't have to reinvent storage each time you lose a hardcore world really, really helps. And I think just that for me, having that spatial alignment and those rough categories will help you deal with most of what you come across early on and give you places. Now, last game we had it may have significantly played a role in the death, but we'd just thrown up a few more chests because of sand. There we lived in the desert. We're going to get a lot more sand, and I don't plan on that every game. it rarely becomes more than a stack or two, and a lot of those I'm looking to make into glass, not grass. So yeah, you know, be flexible. You don't have to be locked into anything. That could just as easily be the dirt box, or you can just throw another box outside. You don't need some of those things. You don't need access to any time of night or day. But as you're going to see, as soon as we start down into our mine this time, we're going to find that we need the ability to dump the stuff that we've gotten in the mine and potentially restore our tools or something like that. And you don't always want to go to sleep if which I think is a great way to approach playing the game. To the extent possible, do your mining and your underground stuff underground. Your underground stuff underground. Yeah, that's great. Um, to the extent possible, when you're gonna be underground anyway, do that stuff at night, and then flip it and do your farming, your exploring, your tree harvesting, that kind of stuff during the daylight hours, like now. No mobs. You're not wasting days and time just feeling like, oh man, I can sleep through all the adventure. Hopefully, you're going to be getting lots of adventure down in the depths while you're searching for diamonds. And even if you're not, trust me, you'll get caught out there, not sleeping, so to speak, where you cut it a little too close trying to get home, and you're suddenly kiting home a whole trail of mobs that are pack on your back. So there's plenty of opportunity for adventure. And hey, sometimes you think you're quiet and safe in a desert temple, and out of nowhere, a creeper just explodes on your back. So it's always something that gets you. Along those lines, because I do want to start pushing down into this mine, and we know there's that noise again. We know we've got this cave right behind us. In fact, let's do another caving trip. What do you say? But before we do that, man, we got so many possibilities. Did you lose your chicken, buddy? I'd be happy to feed you and your chicken, buddy, but I lost him. Right. Black sheep, white sheep, you guys. Yeah, it's you though. We got a cow in the water. You guys really like these trees, huh? Cool. All right. Well, as I was saying, it's so Minecraft. You just, a million things to do. You start picking up saplings and sticks, and next thing you know, what was I gonna do? Sticks. We definitely need torches, but let's just put those guys away. Again, I don't want just a huge pack of trees right next door. All right, that's a little better. We're gonna take our 2 stacks. Let's just have sticks. And again, that's kind of how I came up with this toolbox or resource box configuration. When you're getting going, it's just handy to have a bunch of sticks that you're not throwing away and are ready. And if you got more than 4 chunks of wood, and sometimes this gets very full and juggly when you got different types of wood, the spruce and the oak, or who knows how many different types. So sometimes you gotta juggle a little bit what you're using primarily, but typically you're not going to need a lot more than 4 stacks of wood, which would be a full block of logs. And if you're filled up or you have extras, throw one of those, split them up or split 2, and make a bunch of sticks. And if you're filled there, split some more and make a batch of torches. only 64 coal and 64 sticks, you're going to get a bunch of torches, and you don't need to carry around a million of them, even if you're going far side of the world type adventure and not expecting to come back anytime soon, if at all. Take a block of coal, a stack of blocks of coal, and take a stack of wood, and you've got torches from now until whenever. There's not a lot of pressure there. Um, Now that we got torches, we can go into the cave, and I think I want to do that before I even make that axe to finish up those trees. Um, Obviously, the reason being the iron is what we have less of, and I think, well, let's see if we get lucky here. Now, we did just redo this, and this will be a great opportunity to talk about my tunnel stairs. So, again, nothing right or wrong, just a pattern through repetition. And it seems to work for me, and I enjoy it. So I think it looks better than just nothing. Spiral staircase, I've certainly used for ages. You can do either 3x3 around a post, or you can do just 4 and just spiral your way down, all the way down to the level where you're going to start getting diamonds, ultimately all the way down to bedrock. The problem is you're going to be going up and down these suckers a lot, and spirals don't lend themselves efficiently to a lot of the stairs. And oh, by the way, it's going to take a little bit of time to go up and down a whole staircase. It's not going to be impossible, but as you're going, is it easier to just hold the W key and let the thing drive itself, or do you want to constantly be spinning your mouse and making yourself motion sick as you're going? So, kind of got away from the tight spiral staircase. I think in large part because over time I developed that to be, why keep the spiral when I can just carry a stack of ladders, spiral my way down, put a ladder each of the way as I'm going, and then climb back up. And when I get all the way to the bottom, I'll pop out one of these guys and put a bucket of water in there. You don't need depth of water to cancel out height of fall. You can drop from the absolute build cap, 250 blocks, and fall all the way down into a bucket, not a bucket, but a bucket's worth of water in one block. And as long as you hit it, you're great. The problem is, even if you're falling all the way down, you can clip into a wall on the way or into the block next to the thing of water, even if you've done everything possible to ensure that it doesn't happen. Personally, I learned that lesson one hard world. I'd been in it and going for quite a long time. I was careful. I would, for 3 or 4 blocks from the top, this is my ladder hole, right? This is where I climb up and come out of. This is going to be my water down drop hole, and so I'd block that out, and it would be a single hole. And for 4 or so blocks down, this would be completely framed in stone or glass or whatever to make sure I had enough of the falling time where I was free falling through just a single hole. And even with that, I found the hard way. You can still clip a wall and be dead before you even reach the water, or you can clip it at the bottom and clip an edge of a block, and boom, that's your world. You're gone. Is it worth it? Does it happen that often? I lived lots of worlds that I didn't lose through that in the same time, over years that I used that pretty confidently. But then, I started playing around with nice interior staircases where I, carve out a 3 in the middle and then a 2 on each side, and make, these nice back and forth staircases. beautiful and fun. Something I'm not opposed to building in current or future bases, especially if I build this starter to kind of get going. And then, you want to play around a little bit. So you make something different, something enjoyable. And there's lots of little footprints that you can use to play around with. But the two things that I do really enjoy about the 3 wide, and the reason why I've kind of adapted to that continuously, is one, you can have torches on both walls without them sticking into the middle and go up and down. Two, I find that as you're going, it gives you more room to play with running a staircase on one side and keeping the block stairs as you go in the middle. You can run into issues where if you try to stair everything down and your axe breaks, and you find you're below the stair, say I've got stairs to here, my axe breaks after I break this. Well, now I got to put down blocks just to get back onto my stairs to go back up again. It's a pain. And having 3, if you run a staircase down one side, which we'll probably do as this goes a little bit deeper, it's really nice. You've got a working staircase until you finish it all out, and you've also got your room to go. And finally, see, there's our torched cavern here. So we'll get some more iron and hopefully restock our tools a little bit as we go. Before we do that, though, it looks like we're going to have a little fun with the resident community. So again, what I've found, 5 is dictated by the reach of my pick going forward. I can reach out that far, and so I go 5 blocks at a time, 3 wide, and carve those out as far as I can. I take 1 off 4 high at the point where I'm going. That just keeps you from having a block that hangs down far enough to bonk your head as you're running up and down. Once you get all finished up and put stairs on, and ultimately, I would love to have that same style of mirrored roof. It wouldn't be quite as high. That gets artificially because we dug down, but yeah, eventually we'd like to have it look nice. We're gonna be looking at this quite a bit, so we'll look at playing with that. But for lighting, every time I get to a base, I do a double torch, and then I just 2 down on one side, 1 down on the next flight down. That gives me light in between. It's probably and frankly is overkill. You don't need that much light, but it keeps it nice and balanced. Keeps the shadows at bay a little bit. So we'll go with it. So from there, we got our creeper over here. We've got I'm just trying to kind of give myself angles to keep to cover a little bit as we potentially deal with things like creepers. Wow. I think that caught a bit of that dropping creeper charged explosion that I talked about. It wasn't what got me in the last world. That was just regular old creeper. He was walking up on us, and I really think he either came around the side or he snuck up from down in the storage treasure room and got us from there. One or the other. He wasn't jumping down on us from above, I don't think. In looking at that video again, I think we had plenty of light up top to keep him at bay, and yeah, he just decided to come in and say hello. Now, Skelly Zombie, we'll see who comes first. This again is why I don't oppose a shield, but he can do exactly that sometimes, which is accidentally draw the ire of his buddy. And yeah, you got him, but he weakened you. So cool. Thanks for looking out, both of you. So we're getting there a little bit. This is obviously got some danger to it, and the main source is that it's still just dawn, and as we work to clear out the caves, I don't even know where all the openings are, but there's guys that are going to be catching on fire and running for shade, and they may just stumble down on top of us. We don't want that. So, um, the term "head on a swivel" is always apt when digging in caves in Minecraft or any game, really. Folks in Fortnite or Call of Duty or any of those, they know you gotta be looking out and finding trouble before it comes to find you. And this is no different. So keep moving. Um, your your enemies will be much less likely to sneak up on you if you. We just saw that coal. We want to go get it, but it's not going anywhere. So pop up and just see if is there anything sitting around that corner that may be coming back. Knock a couple pieces of coal out. Take a look back behind your shoulder, especially as you start going like this. It's quick. You want to get all the coal, and you're kind of going, oh man, it keeps going. That's awesome. But also realize you're digging a hole, right? You're with no exit. So once you're in there with your back turned, who knows what's coming for you. So be aware. Be more aware than I have been at times. Hi, cow. We'll try to lead you out once I get some wheat, but I expect you may be purposefully driving yourself deep, deep underground, which is silly. But, there you go. Good job, Mr. Cow. So, we mainly want to pull if any iron we can find out of this cave while we're stopped here during this daytime cycle. And then ultimately, I want to frame off. Maybe I'll leave a door, maybe I won't, but separate all of this area from our stairway. Um, Stairs are great, and it's another reason why I like the three wide. You get more visibility underground, and here we've got a lot of caves that touch up on the surface. There's other worlds where you're hunting. Like, give me a cave. I need something. You guys, nothing for me to work with here. So three wide gives you, just a little more look to what might be hiding behind that next rock, and um, then you can kind of manage the angle to create a doorway if you need to. Those oak doors that I talked about, they're great too when you're in the caves and not sure how you're going to go, or suddenly you find that you've opened up onto a massive space, and you're not ready for it. You don't have the gear, your torches, all that short. Throwing up a couple pieces of cobble and making a little door, single wide doorway, and throwing an oak door in the middle of it, you can see what's coming at you. You can open it, pop them in the face, and shut it again if you practiced it enough. But even if you can't do that, you can kind of let a couple through at a time if you're so inclined, and say, okay, you guys come through, I'll get you, and then I'll get your friends once I've dealt with you guys. But you're not suddenly finding that, oh, hey, well, just when you thought you were getting good, four more guys showed up out of nowhere that you hadn't planned on, and that can be a day wrecker. So we don't want that to happen to us. I don't want it to happen to you. So consider doors, and make your well, no, make your access to your minds however you want. I don't want to tell you how to play, but in my case, I make them three wide, and the opportunity of finding some of these kind of caves. And again, it sounds like we got a room full of little buddies just beyond the next pick, but I haven't found them yet. I don't know. Oh, well, there's one. Now, I thought about clearing out that hole, but then I did think, all right, if that's too deep and I'm getting mobbed by our little zombie undead friends, I can kind of angle them into that too deep hole and have to make them step and then step to come at me. And it sort of worked. You got it in one shot. In the end, he went down. Now there was all the commotion. So this is one of those situations where oh, he's right there. Again, I don't use the shields, even though I carry them at the beginning as much as I probably should. Um, if you can use the environment like this to just angle out, all the better. It's your comfort level. You feel good and feel like a shield is a waste of time. Well, by all means, um, make your own advantages when you play this game. But we think, and here's some of this big cavey area that we were just in. Now here comes a creeper. And what I can further do is, now he's kind of there. I can't believe I got him and not the torch. A baby creeper, or baby zombie, I mean. My goodness, if they made baby creepers, we'd be in trouble. See, they kind of sense that they can't get to you. Now, of course, he comes through, and it is, as most know, who have died to them in the past, and others can probably put together. Those babies have two big advantages over their older siblings. The first is they're only a block tall, and they can pop through smaller little openings to come and get you. The second is that they're speedy little buggers. Apparently in the zombification process, as you age, you lose overall speed. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for those little guys. They'll come quick, and they'll get in a couple hits before you're even really aware they're there. Now they do sound a little different. You can kind of listen for them and watch. If you hear one around, doesn't mean stop what you're doing, but it may be a little more cautious about where you want to head. All right, we've worked our way through our fishies. Again, we're doing pretty well when it comes to food, so I'm not too worried about it. But in a perfect scenario, I'd be hitting the wheat to just keep me topped off on food to the extent that I want to, and then using the mutton or the cooked cod that I'd had. Once I get into fights, if I'm tucked back around a corner while his skeleton's hitting me, and have just a moment where he seems to be hung up, that I can kind of refuel a little bit. That's a great opportunity to use better food, and hopefully we'll make time as we're kind of getting settled in here and diving deep to get some better food going. We can certainly, I think we have hay bales even. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got some out of the village, so we can break some of those up, start breeding the cows that are around. And even though we don't have, you know, a cow pen or a feedlot or anything like that set up for them yet, no, we wouldn't put them in a feedlot, but it'll be a safe and secure location where they'll have the comfort of knowing that they aren't going to get lost, while also being easily accessible and contained, so they don't stray too far. So that's positive. Now, kind of in a situation I don't like, where I know that this guy's coming at me, but I'm also exposed back down the hallway there, and of course, creeper gonna creep. And I don't know, may have gotten. Oh, he was probably the guy I hit on the foot. I was like, why did he die so quickly? But he had taken some damage earlier. And unlike us, creepers don't get a chance to refuel with little food snacks. So, all right. Well, I think that was our big challenge in the surface cave, was that little angle. And sorry for the knock on the mic there. Now we are just gonna use up what's left of this pick. How much? I get 17, so we got a lot of potential more tool building to do. Not We're not set by any means. That's 4 picks and 2 extra now that I got that extra piece. So um, we're gonna need a lot more iron, and honestly, caves work better for iron. Some of these upper, higher level underground areas than do your deep mines, where you're looking for diamonds specifically, but also picking up coal, redstone, all those good things. You just, you have less resources, and I don't know if this is exactly how the world building algorithm works, but you have less other resources. If it's going along and saying, all right, time to put in a node of blah, whatever that is. Up here, it can be coal or iron. Down low, it can be coal, it can be iron, it can be gold, it can be lapis, redstone, diamonds. There's more of those things to sprinkle in throughout the rocks, and I don't know if there's any difference in how it does that. Certainly, I've seen the graphics. I understand the peak levels for some ores, but whether that limits the others in an overall sense, I haven't seen, don't know. Be interesting if anybody knows for sure. Please leave a comment. Let me know. I would appreciate the feedback, and certainly would appreciate a like on the video. Feel free to follow. Again, as I talked about in the original video, using YouTube to kind of get my feet wet here. I ultimately would like to do some live streams where we can all get together in a chat. Of course, that's how it works. Right when there's coal or iron ready to be grabbed. But yes, ultimately would like to play for some folks in a live chat, and would love to have you. So if that's something that interests you guys, definitely watch for the tweets for eventual live streams on Twitter or future videos. We'll get those out and rolling. But again, I'm having a blast. It's been a number of good hours today, but I'm not in a real hurry. I just have so much fun, and I hope a lot of you two are familiar with getting started in a Minecraft world. Things happen, and I've been slow playing them, admittedly, as we talk here a little bit. It just opens up other possibilities to me a little more. So at times I would be pushing a little bit quicker to get down deep and see what's going on. But I'm just enjoying sharing some thoughts about Minecraft and kind of my way. It was a bummer. we had that unfortunate incident that you guys all had to witness. But hey, that's a part of the game. I enjoy playing it, and hey, that world will forever be memorable in that just totally unexpected enchanted golden apple. Where did that come from? And if it was going to come into that world and it was so auspicious, why then did a creeper just show up in my house and wreck my day? Well, very nice of him and all. Those are the questions that Minecraft brings to mind for all of us, I'm sure. But hey, we got some gravel for our dirt box. It's not just a dirt box anymore. We got some gunpowder and zombie flesh as a result of our little bit of combat. We're going to get some fresh tools, but while we're waiting for that iron to cook, I want to do this, and we don't even need to break a hay bale. Let's go see if we can increase some of our herds a little bit. And again, for the moment, these animals are living the good life. Hey, I'm talking to you. I don't want the sheep, cow. These cows, I mean, just look at the real estate cows. You guys are living on a beautiful bluff. You're eating premium wheat straight from a desert village. Now, sheep, you guys are going to get out of hand pretty quick, I have a feeling. But I don't want to come here. I don't want to miss the opportunity to at least give you one little buddy. So we'll get you guys going. The donkeys, I believe I have to tame first in order to breed them. And we'll need golden apples for that. And quite frankly, until I get enough golden apples that I have a stack or so for myself, maybe it never needs to be a full stack. I would never make myself wait that long. But until we get golden apples enough to handle emergencies and get us absorption and some health in a pinch, we're not going to worry about breeding them. They're not going far. I hope. It would be tragic if something came along that took them from us. But even were that tragedy to happen, and let's hope it doesn't. I don't have a pick. We'll go get new donkeys if we have to. But in the meantime, I want to get particularly my cows and my ducks, chickens. Making big families. The more kids they have now, the more we've got to breed from later on. So this is a good kind of chill. We were just in that cave. Got a bunch of good iron. We're gonna have a full stack of picks. We've only got that half shovel left, but since we had gotten our initial bit of digging done, it's gonna give us a moment. Yes, we definitely are going to need to get a little wheat farm going. And I think I may do that to start and convert it over to an animal pen. But frankly, with the hay bales that we got, we've got a cushion. We can grow enough cows to have a little bit of a surplus and start harvesting some beef and some leather even before we get to that. But I do feel it, as you guys have seen, we've been breeding these chickens and they just run like the wind, and they're like, hey, I got those seeds over there, but now I'm going to run this way. It's not the way I know animals to work. And I don't know, I know animals. I've not lived on a farm per se, but I've certainly helped some, what do you call it, suburban farmers. I know people that have horses. As a kid, neighbors had chickens and things growing up, typically the animal mentality tends to do real well focusing on the fact that, hey, you gave me some food in this spot, so I'm going to come back to that spot and see if it happens again. Whether it does or it doesn't, they don't give up on the opportunity. I mean, anybody that's had a pet dog or cat knows they watch us, and they certainly take their cues off of signs that we give them that hey, you may be getting a treat. Just think about how you train them. They're doing all that stuff that we do. We appreciate as their affection. A lot of that is hardwired on that reward. So, um, yeah, I wonder at my chickens here and my cows that having been fed and given a taste of the good stuff, then feel the need to go 100 blocks in the opposite direction. Silly. Just, why do we need to build fences and gates and all that if you guys would just stay close? But no, that's fine. That's why you're free range. You get to live your life. Um, Again, look, our donkeys have kind of gone in opposite directions. Maybe they don't like each other too much yet, but we'll fix that. We'll give them a little love potion number 9. Um, but for now, they seem to be seeing different parts of this wonderful landscape as beautiful. So, again, we just wandered all over the short end of our island to find our chickens, and they seem to be doing well. Let's see if these guys are ready again. There, perfect. That is. I expect that means it's still too early for every time. Just walking away. Cow? You guys, don't tell the chickens, but you're way more important than they are. I mean it. So stay close. There will be more hay in it for you, or wheat. All right. That was wonderful use of some cooking time. We should now have, look at that, 18 nice pieces of iron. We had 3 more that I kind of forgotten about. So tools. Now we can really get a full complement going and turn that into hopefully a little more visible success or progress on our minds going down. So, as I'd mentioned previously, this is kind of my full complement of tools. Well, digging a mine, you don't really need the axes. I would still almost always carry an extra, excuse me, one, just in case I happen to encounter a abandoned mine shaft and there was wood in there that I needed to, ease my way through or just gather for convenience sake or visibility. So you always want to have one axe, one shovel. Even shovels, you may not think you're going to be gathering any dirt or sand or gravel, but if you're underground, gravel drop on your head. That switch to a shovel can really save you if you happen to get stuck in it and are suffocating. So you get those opportunities to correct problems, but they go quick. So don't take them for granted. Otherwise, you'll quickly be in that situation I was in earlier today. Not a great one. So we're gonna put we got lots of extra little animals there. That was a fun diversion. I think what I am gonna do, I just put these away. But we talked about just flaunting my not having a roof, huh? All right, game. Let's see how you are. You rain. Well, we'll just carry the hoe then. We won't use it. Now, that was I heard him come down here. What was it, back this way when we were feeding? I guess I should get a boat because I don't even know if we have leads. It was too many things to do and not enough time to do them. That's the beauty of the game. Yeah, no leads. So, and why don't we just makes it so much easier. So, again, we're no one and see so that's the invisibility. He knew it was getting to be nighttime. He doesn't care that he's amid torches. That's how he hides himself from any enemies. And while he's doing that, he not having armor is no worse off, so he can just hide. Well, that's fun, but not foolproof, and particularly for any of you that play on servers and in PvP. Excuse me, you know that only goes so far. There's perils aplenty for those folks that yes, that wander out with only invisibility potions to protect them. So here's what we needed to do when we got started, and just for the sake of convenience, with this weather and knowing that we have lots of ins and outs before we have a roof, we're going to throw a door there. Now, excuse me. Before we really get there, a lot of folks, hey, put your door there. That's right where it goes. Well, eventually, each of these is going to be covered with a stair piece, and that'll raise it up. And with a door right here at perfect level from here, we wouldn't be able to get in and out once we have that stair piece placed. So rather than just trolling ourselves and making it, we're going to pre-plan to use this as our doorway whenever we choose to, and we're not going to choose to do that often, I don't think. Once you yanked out all the coal and the iron in a high level cave, um, you're pretty much done. I am wondering if that was him re-invisibling, or if that was another one of our witchy friends. We seem to be in kind of a witch central. Now, we don't need our boats anymore. We got our leads, so let's dump them. Oh, those are going to be so great once we start creating premium homes for our wonderful animal friends. But for now, we can make that our little entrance, and I may have to knock this out a little bit more. I'm not sure quite where we were at in the steps, and of course that was going to be our dual light point, but it's fine. We are ready to deal with this. So now we're going to punch that out. And this is our default 5 deep and 3 high. This one in front of us is one, but I like to, just keep that. It keeps everything nice and true. And then I do this one extra, which simply helps out once the stairs are there. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the extent of our next section of stairs. And oh yeah, I agree, Mr. Trader, invisibility man. It looks great. So now we just, let's not forget we're in the depths of a cave. We may do some wood paneling or something later inside, and that would be reflected out. But yeah, for now, that's what we get. And it's going to work out real well for us. So now we just continue on, and I don't know if we're going to clip another section of that cave or another one. We'll kind of see as it unfolds in front of us here, but I think even for the immediate future, if we clip anything that bent back, it's going to be lit and cleared until we get to kind of the next systems down, if there are any. So good on us. Got us the tools to keep moving. And really, what more could we ask for out of a cave? And, just enough to keep doing as we do. So again, he's concerned. Darkness, and it is. As much as I don't like the rain falling through our roofless little shack, it's nice to be able to just look up and go, okay, that's what time the day is. Now, some visual glitches will kind of cheat that to you throughout the course of the day. But we shall see how it goes forward. A little bit of an odd spot, but as I've repeatedly said, this is it's a little bit new ground. I am now very concerned that much of what we've been talking about for the last who knows how long has been on mute on my end, which would be a real shame. But let's check that quick. I'm gonna throw a quick pause or stop on this recording. It's a weird spot, but take this opportunity for you guys as the next video loads to get up, walk around, stretch your legs, get a glass of water, and I'll do the same and just check back to see if I haven't fallen into that oh so typical content creator trap of recording a bunch of stuff without any audio. So hold tight for me, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.